Good afternoon, friends. Myself, Dr. Manodeep Acharya, consultant diabetologist in Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Specialty Center. Today, I came to tell you something about a very interesting topic, which is very pertinent so far as the precision diabetes management is concerned. This is one type of CGM. Now, what stands for CGM? CGM is continuous glucose monitoring. Continuous glucose monitoring, CGM. And one type of CGM is called AGP, ambulatory glucose profile. Now, what do you mean by AGP, ambulatory glucose profile? It is self-explanatory. We can just take out the meaning of the individual word. That is ambulatory. Ambulatory means we can check the sugar at any point of time in our life or during this study period. Means it doesn't need to be either in the morning fasting, before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner, after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. Not like that. It is such a system, technologically advanced, that the system will record our blood sugar, rather the sugar level of our body, uh, on its own. We don't even need to prick each and every time. So ambulatory glucose means we are going to check the glucose. And profile means profiling of a robust amount of data, through which by converting those data into the graphical plotting, and we will come to know that what is the, or rather what was the sugar profile, what was the sugar range of our body on a particular day, on a particular date. And how, why it is important? Because we want to check whether that needs any further manipulation, modifications of our sugar level in the body. Now, we can call it as, I personally think it as GPS tracker of our blood sugar. Means suppose, let me cite you an example. We know the difference between a still photography and a video photography. Still photography, what does it indicate? What does it entails? It says about a particular point, a particular moment of the photography, or the particular moment of our life when the photography was taken. But so far as the video photography is concerned, it is depicting a range of time, depending upon how much time we have taken for the video, during which what we were doing. So here lies the difference. Why I'm citing this example, to extrapolate it in terms of the blood sugar. Till date, we knew that there are only one type of blood sugar checking, that is called fasting before breakfast or before food, and postprandial after food. That used to be the normal criteria couple of years back, and that on the basis of which the diabetes management was based. Therefore came the HbA1c, glycosylated hemoglobin. Now, what HbA1c entails? It's signifies the average blood sugar level of our body over the last 3 months period. It doesn't precisely say that what was my blood sugar particularly at a particular day, at a particular time of that day. By this value we come to know that what was the average blood sugar value. We were happy with that. Now, on the quest of further advancement in the technological diagnosis and technological maneuvering of for the better treatment of diabetes, the researchers were on, and on the basis of which the CGM came into the picture. I still remember when I was in Apollo Hospital a couple of years back, couple of decades back rather. So we used to see that time that the patient needs to be hospitalized for a CGM checking, continuous glucose monitoring checking. Patient was hospitalized. A particular instrument was attached with the patient, and then after a particular duration of, say, suppose 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, and that the data has been taken over from that particular sensor into a particular reader, and then the reader is being attached to a desktop or the laptop, and then the graphical on the values and the series of values comes, on the basis of which the diabetologist or the endocrinologist used to modify the treatment protocol assigned to that patient. So fasting PP era, then came the glycosylated hemoglobin era, and then came the CGM. Now AGP, ambulatory glucose profile, is another type of CGM. Now what we actually do in AGP? Before going into the technicalities of the AGP, let me tell you what are the instruments attached to it. For this AGP to done, or this AGP, ambulatory glucose profiling, to be done, we need a particular instrument, which is the name of the instrument is called the Freestyle Libre Pro. Freestyle Libre Pro, that is the name of the instrument from a particular company. That is the most latest version of the AGP profiling, for latest version of AGP profiling. Now this AGP, the Freestyle Libre Pro, has got three components. One is the sensor that needs to be attached to our body. Next is the reader. The reader is the principal instruments which will take or which will receive the datas which has been deposited in the sensor. From the sensor, the reader will take out the reports into the reader, and when we attach the reader to the computer, desktop, or even if it is connected to the mobile also, and then we will review the blood sugar values, and in the that will convert it into graphical representations. There are a lot of graphs in it. In this presentation, I will not go into these explanations or the interpretations of the AGP on the basis of graph, because that is a pure technical thing, and which you don't need, but you do have to know about the AGP and the importance of AGP. And the third instrument is called the AGP, that is the adapter which will attach the sensor, in our body. And after 14, the sensor will, normally the sensor is placed on the back of the arm. Now why this back of the arm? Because this is the least interfered place of our body. Normally this part of the body doesn't come in contact with so many daily activities, so this is one of the safest part. So it is the sensor with the help of the adapter is being fixed on the back of the elbow, either of the back of the arm, either of the arm can be chosen, and then it has to be kept on, and that can be activated through the reader. And then for the next 14 days the sensor will be fixed here. Now you might ask, that means I have to be bed bound, I have to be home bound while the sensor is being attached to my body? No, the answer is simply no. You can do normal adult daily activities, including taking shower, normal activities, but be careful when you are scrubbing after taking shower and all, when you are mopping your body through the towels and all, you have to take an extra precautions. You have to be very gentle while going through that part of your body, so that the sensor cannot be removed. So after 14 days we will take out that patch with the sensor, and then from the sensor the entire data will be transferred to the reader. Now we will fix the reader with the mobile, laptop or desktop, and through the graphical representations of the data we will be able to interpret what was the glycemic status. Next question comes is, who are the diabetic patients need ambulatory glucose profile? Now we have come across those who are in the diabetes specialties, or those in internal medicines or the endocrinology. All of us might have come across with a different group of patients, in which we see that some of the patients, their HbA1c, glycosylated hemoglobin, is very well controlled, but the day of the visit doctor, we can see that the fasting or the PP sugar is not controlled. So what's the reason behind this? And it is equally applicable for the reverse, that the glycosylated hemoglobin is very uncontrolled, whereas the fasting and the PP blood sugar is within normal range. So there is some disparities, there is some disharmony going on, which we need to find out. There are a certain group of patients which we call the hypoglycemia unawareness, especially those patients, the elderly patients who are suffering from either long-standing type 1 or the long-standing type 2 diabetes patients who became unaware of the fact that their body blood sugar level is below the normal critical value, and that is quite detrimental for our body, because until we know that there is hypoglycemia, we cannot correct it, and then obviously a lot of organic damage takes place in our body. So this hypoglycemia unawareness patient, whether the patient is having recurrent hypoglycemia, especially at night, which is more dangerous to find out, because in some patients we find that throughout the day the capillary blood sugar is well controlled, but in the fasting sample in the morning it is chronically uncontrolled. And in some patients they complain of symptoms of hypoglycemia in the late night or early morning, and in some patients they can't. So you need to find it out what exactly is going on. Next is the daytime variations in the blood sugar level. Now, you might be asking, I am doing fasting sugar, I am doing PP sugar, I am doing HbA1c, and from the HbA1c I come to know that my HbA1c is within normal limit. That is, we must have all know that the pre-diabetic value of HbA1c stands between 5.7 to 6.4, and if it crosses beyond 6.5, we call it diabetic range. So if it is 6.5, below 6 but not below 5.7, we call it as normal, either normal in the diabetic range, normal in the pre-diabetic range. So we're happy with that. So there are some patients who might ask that my HbA1c is normal, even my fasting or PP also sometimes normal, then why this AGP is needed? This is a very pertinent question. Let me explain you why. Fasting, PP, HbA1c, these are not showing the true picture of the blood sugar variations taking place in our body. The blood sugar after taking food, it climbs up. Then whenever there is a long gap of no food, or patient didn't take any medicine and patient didn't take any food also, the blood sugar may come to normal. Patient took medicine but didn't take the food, the blood sugar will fall. So, and even after all these normal things like taken medicines, taken food, but still the blood sugar jumps, and then again at times it goes below normal, sometimes it goes above normal, sometimes it goes below normal. So these fluctuations up and down, this is quite detrimental of our body. Research has shown that the more the fluctuations, more the glycemic variability, irrespective of our normal FBS, PPBS and HbA1c, the more is the chance, or the faster is the chance of developing the diabetes related complications. So our aim while treating diabetes is to not only to control the blood sugar, but to control, or but to delay, or but to prevent the onset of diabetes related complications. What are the complications? It can damage the kidney, it can damage the heart, it can damage the brain, it can damage the nerves, it can damage the eyes. So diabetic retinopathy, diabetic nephropathy, diabetic neuropathy, diabetic cardiomyopathy, diabetic dermopathy, so on and so forth. The more faster is the development of complications of the diabetes mellitus, the more will be the chance of damage to our body, and eventually the ultimate developments like, say, requirement of dialysis, blindness, then heart attack, cerebrovascular accident and stroke, and so on. So our aim is to, the modern diabetes treatment aims to not only control the blood sugar, we have to control the diabetic complications, both micro and the macrovascular complications. Now to control these micro and macrovascular complications, we need to control, or we need to taper down the glycemic variabilities. Suppose there is too much of glycemic variations, and at the same time the blood sugar always remains above normal. So there are two contributory factors which is damaging our body. One is glycemic variability, and another is the glucotoxicity, means prolonged exposure of high amount of glucose in the blood, which can directly or indirectly damages our body. So glucotoxicity and glycemic variability both are detrimental to our body, and both are one of the important hindrance or obstacles in controlling, or in effective controlling of the diabetes patients. So these are the group of patients which needs AGP, ambulatory glucose profiling. We have seen, or the research have shown, that for the type 1 diabetes patients, they need frequent AGP profiling. Because they need because the insulin is the only treatment of choice, and while we are initiating insulin for these type 1 patients, we may not be able to achieve a strict glycemic control initially. So every regular interval they might need to do the AGP to know whether his insulin requirements and the distribution of the dose of the insulins throughout the day are adequate or not. And in some long-standing type 2 diabetes patients also, they need this AGP. But in most of the cases, newly diagnosed diabetics, first, my personal belief is to do an AGP either before starting the treatment or in the initial phase of treatment, to come to a conclusion whether his glycemic variability is there or not. This CGM or this AGP, the one of the type of the CGM, why it is needed? Because as I told you before, because today is the era of precision diabetes management. It's not that my blood sugar is fasting ranges that, PP ranges that, yeah, I'm happy. My HbA1c is that, I'm happy. But in the era of precision diabetes management, a technological advancement like AGP is of paramount importance. Now, what we do in the AGP, the sensor has been fixed in the back of the arm, and it usually, and the one important thing that you have to remember, through this AGP we are not checking the blood or the capillary glucose, we are checking the interstitial fluid glucose. That is the fluid which is present between the cells and the blood vessels of our body. Between the cells and the blood vessel there is a space, we call it the extracellular space or the interstitial space. So there is a fluid, and we check the blood sugar in the interstitial fluid by placing the sensor at the interstitial space. So, but it is, the research shows that more or less it is corroborating with the capillary blood sugar. So, and this Freestyle Libre Pro instrument, normally it checks interstitial fluid sugar at an interval of 15 minutes. So in a day we can roughly get a value of 100 interstitial fluid sugar value in a day. So for a 14-day trial period we can get a 1400 sugar levels. The most unique and striking feature of this is that there is not a single pinprick for this 1400 sugar reports. That is the paramount advantage of this technology. There is not a single pinprick, because a lot of patients have got these inhibitions of getting pinprick for checking the blood sugar, but there is not a single pinprick. And whenever we are attaching the sensor here, it's just like it's not even a painful conditions. There is no bleeding, nothing. It's just like a mosquito bite. So now, while doing the AGP, we have certain targets. Now, what are the targets? Depending on the type of the patient, whether it is type 1, type 2, whether his or her blood sugar glycemic status is controlled, uncontrolled, we fix a target range on the blood sugar. Suppose the lower range is fixed at 70 milligram per deciliter and the upper range is fixed at 180 milligrams per deciliter. So why this is called target? Because whenever we are doing this, or whatever our mode of treatment, whatever the methods of treating the diabetes patients, our aim is to fix the blood sugar value within this target range. So time in range, TIR. So whenever we are doing this AGP, our target is to the average blood sugars per day or over the 14 days period, that this graph should be between this time range 70 to 180. Our target says, or the research says, that it should be at least 70% of the daytime blood sugar values. If it is more than 70% of the 100% of TIR, then we will be more than happy. That means his glycemic control is good and whatever the treatment he is getting is optimum. But then the other aberrations will be time above range, TAR, or time below range, TBR. Time above range means whenever the blood sugar is high. Time below range means whenever the blood sugar is low. So less the time above range and time below range, less will be the glycemic variability, more will be the blood sugar within the time in range, more will be the optimum glucose control, less will be the development of the diabetes related micro and macrovascular complications. This is the take home message. So the research says the target should be at least 70% of the entire blood sugar values should be within the time and range. If it is between 70 to 100, 80%, 90% is good. But we see patients where the time in range may be as low as 2%, 3%, 10%. And in some patients, the time in range is something around 90%, 95%. Now, the problem is it is an instrument. It's a software driven instrument. So if your blood sugar goes above 180 milligrams per deciliter, suppose it is 181, so there is aberration. So it will fall under the time above range. If the blood sugar falls below 70, suppose it is 65, 68 milligrams per deciliter, so it is time below the range. So more is TAR, more is TBR, more is the aberrations. In some patients, we see that somehow the average blood sugar is ranging on the upper level of the time in range, but there is lot of fluctuations. Sometimes it is going too high, sometimes it is going too low. So these patients are called the brittle diabetes. Now brittle diabetes is very dangerous because these are the candidates who develops diabetes related complications very soon and subsequent the comorbidities. So now what is the advantage of this Freestyle Libre Pro instruments for doing the AGP, ambulatory glucose profile? First is it is technologically advanced. It is one of the latest technological advancement in the management or effective management of type 1 and type 2 diabetes mellitus. Easy to use, very reliable, and there is no pinprick. There is no bleeding, there is no pinprick, there is no non-compliance from the patients. Suppose you are with the sensor for 14 days period, and if you have the reader with you, because the reader is sold differently, and from the medical centers we fix the sensor and then we tell the patients you will have to see me after 14 days. But personally, if you purchase the reader, then at any point of time you can check the blood sugar. Means how we will check the blood sugar or the interstitial fluid sugar? The reader has to be in close proximity with the sensor, within less than 4 centimeter distance. So when you keep the reader within this less than 4 centimeter distance of the sensor which has been fixed on the back of your arm, it will automatically detect the blood sugar at that point. So you can see the blood sugar. There is no pinprick. But if you don't have, then you have to rely on the graphical representations of the entire blood sugar values over the last 14 days. Now, with this AGP profiling, we come to know during which time of the day the blood sugar is going up or low, during which time of the night the blood sugar is going up and low, and accordingly we have to decide what medicines, the dose and the types of medications the patient is on, or the dose of the insulins when the patients are type 1 diabetes or in long-standing type 2 diabetes who are on insulin dependent. So for effective therapeutic management or precision management of the type 1 or type 2 diabetes, this AGP gives us immense help, gives us immense knowledge about how to control the blood sugar level effectively with least possible glycemic variability. This is in nutshell about the ambulatory glycemic profile. Now, why I have come today with this topic, that the only reason is those, especially I'm trying to address to those newly detected diabetic patients or newly diagnosed diabetic patients, especially young, who doesn't have the complications developed till now. So to allay, to prevent the complications of the diabetes mellitus, this AGP profiling once, twice, maybe thrice is of paramount importance. For type 1, it is no doubt needed. It is until we do it, we won't be able to up titrate or down titrate the dose of the insulin. But for up titration or down titration of the dose of the medicines or the insulin in type 2 diabetic patients also, and in case of the recently detected diabetic patients, we need this AGP profiling, and I will encourage, because the fluctuation, we need to reduce the fluctuations as much as possible, and I will through this media I'll try to give this message to all the newly detected diabetics. Don't think about it, don't think about the money, just do it. Help your doctor, help your diabetologist to come to a logical and rational treatment modalities for your diabetes, because you know by this time the diabetes is not at all just to control the fasting and PP sugar, because diabetes is a multi-systemic disease. What we do, we control the blood sugar, but at the same time we choose the dose of the medicines and the type of the medicines in such a way, with this use of these recent advancements, that the cardiovascular, cerebrovascular, renal, ophthalmological, skin, neuronal complications developments can be minimized. Recently I was reviewing few AGP graphs, in which I've seen that a 28-year-old diabetic patients, type 1 patients, who used to come to the clinic with HbA1c and the fasting sugar, but whenever we check the blood sugar, capillary blood sugar in the hospital or clinic, it tends to be very high. His HbA1c was also not controlled, but the fasting sugar or the PP sugar, whenever you get it done from outside, it is always normal. So that made us to think that something somewhere wrong. There is some manipulation is going on, because we know when we do this practice in the clinic, we see 2-3 types of patients. There are few honest patients who come with whatever they are ready to accept whatever may be the value, and for whatever the treatment the doctor will advise, they will take it. No, but there is one group of patients, they're very intelligent. What they do is they intentionally stop taking food or less amount of food for the last couple of days before visiting a doctor. So whenever they come to us, his fasting or PP sugar is superbly controlled, but they don't know that we can also check the HbA1c, and maybe they are not taking this rigorous control of blood sugar over the last 3 months, so that is getting reflected in the HbA1c, which is showing very high value. Sometimes some patient comes where their HbA1c and fasting blood sugar or the BP blood sugar used to be within normal limit or fairly controlled, but whenever they come to a particular day to visit a doctor, and that day when we check it, we see that his fasting or PP sugar is high, then we have to find out the cause, what may be the reason. There may be some stress, anxiety, maybe the patient has come from a very long distance, overnight bus journey, train journey, flight, now this pandemic is going on, so that related stress as well. So these variations in the reports bewilders us, confuses us to come to effective therapeutic regimen for those type of patients. So for these, AGP is an effective tool to counter those confusions and to come to a very successful treatment formulations for the diabetic patients. Hope I have explained more or less in as layman term as possible the importance of AGP, the parts of AGP, the advantages of AGP, and why it has way to go for long years for an effective diabetic management in the future. Thank you so much.